appointed President and CEO of the Enterprise Group of Jackson, Keith Gillenwater. Hey, Keith.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Keith is now taking over from the retiring Tim Rogers after Tim's 12 years or plus of service. Welcome to Jackson.
Thank you. It's been great. This is week 4 on the job, so it's a great community.
Keith and I actually met a couple times about 10 years?
10 years ago, yeah.
Yes, as JTV was doing some work and had some interest in the Wabash area, so we got a chance to connect a couple of times. So you were a little familiar with Jackson because of JTV.
Yeah, absolutely. Had an opportunity 10 years ago as we were talking about potentially doing a project to be able to come up, and at that point I could see what a great community it was. But it's funny because 10 years later I come back and it looks different. You can tell the pride that the community has and the amount of work that has went into not only just getting off of the interstate and that journey into downtown, and the downtown, it's amazing. And so definitely was a very attractive opportunity.
Well, the opening attracted a lot of applications and a number of interviews, so they settled on you. And what was it about your background, your experience that you are bringing that the EG board liked?
Well, I mean, that's always the $1 million question, right? Not being part of those conversations. But I think what I would guess is that I've got 18 years of economic development experience being at the helm of a local economic development organization, a couple of different communities in Indiana, as well as working at the state level as well. And so I think a little bit of experience, a little bit of experience working different types of projects, whether it's supporting local businesses, attracting new businesses to the community, housing projects, entrepreneurship. And so I was listening as you were talking about the property of the day, and sounds like a heck of an opportunity for somebody to come in, an entrepreneur. So.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I believe the price was recently reduced, so even better opportunity. Now, you ran an organization somewhat similar to the EG in Wabash, Grow Wabash County. What kinds of things in your background, in your experience in Wabash, do you see that maybe things that worked or things, some strategies that you did that might translate to this community?
Yeah, I think for the last couple of years, Enterprise Group has really spent a lot of time working with our community to build a new technology park, the JTPN project up on County Farm Road, and I think in my past we've built some industrial parks and then actively marketed those parks and to try to get them to fill and start putting new businesses in, or businesses that are expanding. And so I think that was something that I can bring to the table. I ran a combined organization, a combined chamber and economic development organization, and so I think maybe bringing that experience to the table and kind of looking at things from a community development standpoint as well as from an economic development standpoint, I think is helpful to what we're trying to accomplish here. And then I think some of the things that I know there's a lot of opportunities to, as the state of Michigan has got an effort to try to increase population, try to arrest and reverse that population decline that the state has had. And that was the name of the game of what we were doing in Wabash County to try to address that. And so that had us working on some of these maybe non-traditional economic development things like housing and trying to get market rate housing and those kinds of things. And so I've got some experience in doing a lot of these different types of projects, and I think those are all opportunities for Jackson County as well.
It's interesting to get an outside perspective. What do you think Jackson's biggest asset is when it comes to being an economic growth community?
Yeah, so from an economic development standpoint, the first thing I look at is, it's kind of like the real estate market. Location is everything sometimes, right? And when you look at Jackson County and you look at our location, it's a great opportunity, right? You've got an interstate, you've got a great airport, we've got those quality of life amenities with lakes and outdoor recreation opportunities. We've got a great downtown that you can tell when you drive into town that people care. People have invested their time and invested their money into it. And a workforce, right? We have a strong manufacturing workforce. We need more people, right? We need to continually to work with our partners, whether it's JAMA or Shop Rats or the Career Center or Jackson College, whomever that is, to continue to upskill that workforce to make sure that we can fill the jobs that we have here, but also to fill the jobs that we want to bring here. I think looking at all of those, when I put my economic development hat on, I see opportunity.
Yeah, Wabash quite a bit smaller than Jackson, and the location not ideal in terms of access. So there are obviously some challenges in that community that you had to meet that might not be here in Jackson.
Yeah, definitely a smaller community. So the county I'm coming from was about 30,000 for the county, and I'm sitting in the city of Jackson at 30,000 people, right? A county of 160,000, and so when you have the business community that we have here, when you have the amount of people that we have here, that creates opportunity in and of itself. Let alone the location, the proximity to the major universities, and the universities we have right here in our community. Definitely were some challenges, but I will say I'm really excited with when I started in Wabash County to where I left, right? We did a lot of good things, brought a lot of businesses in, helped right before I left, I helped our largest employer do a $300 million expansion and take up 100 acres in our new industrial park. And so that was a good one to, tip my hat on the way out the door as I come to Jackson. So,
yeah, and you're a lifelong Hoosier.
Lifelong Hoosier, yes.
Except, and Brandon, you're not going to be happy hearing this. Keith told me when I saw him the other day, he's a big Purdue fan, and they just broke the hearts of Spartans on Saturday, winning their second consecutive Big Ten championship. But there's the tournament.
Purdue has not had the best of luck the last several years. The way I look at it, though, is 3 years ago we lost to a 14 seed. 2 years ago, we lost to a 15 seed, and last year we lost to a 16 seed. So it cannot get worse in the tournament.
That's about it. There's a lot of. I think last year it was just a really weird tournament. So many.
It happens sometimes, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to the Boilermakers. You guys have an incredible team. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got a family, and you're planning to. You've already bought a house here.
I have. I actually am taking possession tomorrow at 5 p.m. Okay. So I'm excited. I'm in a Airbnb, a local businessman, local contractor owns, and that's been great. But it'll be nice to get into something that is your house, right? And it doesn't feel like you're sleeping in somebody else's house. So married. I've been married for 12 years, and I've got a 10-year-old son as well. So my wife Carrie, my son Max. They have been 100% supportive of the move. We've chosen a house that we take possession of tomorrow. We know what school system that we're going to go to and that kind of thing. And so, getting settled in, as you can sort of start checking the boxes of the to-do list of all the things. We still got the move ahead of us and to sell a house in Indiana and that kind of thing. But really excited to get up here. Really excited to get my family back together. The bachelor life, I will tell you, is not for me anymore. So
the reason for the job, all those things at the EG that you're excited about, that's part of the reason for the move. But on personal level, what about living in Jackson attracted you to apply for this and then accept with your family to move here?
Yeah, so I think it's an opportunity for me personally, for personally career growth, right? I mean, I think that's one piece of it, right? I think the other piece of it, though, is as you hit a certain age and where we're at as a family, we started to say, what is that next step for us? Like, where do we want to be at? And so when this opportunity came up for Jackson, got a call from the gentleman that was helping them fill the job. I took a look at the opportunity and it sounded like it was a good fit. And then I got an opportunity to bring my family up here before we agreed to go through the process, right? To be able to come up here and drive around and see the community, you know, and kind of get a feel for it, come up and spend a weekend. And it was one of those things we said, yeah, I think this is a place that we would be interested in living, right? And interviewed and had an opportunity to, when we accepted the job, to be able to just get up here, and the amount of people that have stepped up to help us, to offer advice to us. And it's just those things that reiterate that we know we made a good choice, right?
From what I've heard, you've already connected and made relationships with the existing staff, and
Yeah.
it sounds like Tim Rogers and Debbie Kelly have left the organization staffed in a great spot that you are going to continue and work with going forward.
Yeah, Debbie's been great to work with. I mean, we celebrated the first week I was here. We celebrated her 25 years at Enterprise Group, and so I mean, as a new guy moving into a community that I'm not from and not having that support system, knowing that I'm walking in and having a staff member there who knows everybody, who has those relationships, has been a great help. And yeah, Tim and Debbie have left the organization in a great spot, and I think there are some great opportunities for us to build upon that base and make it even better.
Great. Well, good luck in your new position, and welcome to Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The new President and CEO of the Enterprise Group of Jackson, Keith Gillenwater.